Hello, wonderful universe. It's Jennifer here at Eureka Astrology and Healing. We're doing our moon mindfulness check-in, and we are going into the Libra waning moon. We're going to be doing the forecast for February 19th and 20th, 2022. So just some little key notes here first with this moon. It's a good time to create art, hang out with people, go out to eat, and with it waning, remember the energy's leaving, so I think of letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. That can be with others, or that can be with things that's within you, especially since it's the moon. Emotions. Are there emotions and feelings that you're holding on to that no longer serve you or that need to be transformed? All feelings have a purpose, but if you let them linger, especially some of the harder ones, they can fester and cause problems. So it's a good time to assess that and let go. That being said, let's take a look at the aspects. After that, we'll talk about the phrase. So on Saturday the 19th, the moon trines Mercury, and this is a very communal time, a great time to hang out with friends and also find solutions to where you can find balance within friendships or in community because of it's Aquarius. There's a lot of thinking going on, a lot of talking, and it's going to feel good. And I think there's going to be some really good solid solutions as to how there can be balance within that friendship, within that community. It's just a good feeling, and I don't think there's going to be much hardship within that aspect, so to speak. The other aspect that is going on is that the moon is opposing Chiron in Aries. This is a little different feeling. And what I kind of saw, the message that I kind of saw is that you may be asked to sacrifice some of your emotional needs for finding balance. And again, it can be with a relationship, right? And so that might not feel so good because Chiron is the wound, right, in Aries. And so that would be where I saw the sacrifice. But you don't have to do it. You have to find the balance, right? What is the healthy balance? And we're going to talk about this with the phrase today a little bit. But if you give over all of your needs just to make sure that everything feels good for everybody else, your relationship to yourself is not healthy. And then things spiral out of control eventually. I mean, I don't want to project, but I think we all know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's not right away. Maybe you give a little here and give a little there. You really wanted something. And then, 1 week, 2 weeks, a year, a decade, depends on the relationship, you go, I didn't realize how much that was important to me and what I needed that for, whatever it is, right? It's going to be different for everybody. So check yourself if you're sacrificing some of your very instinctual basic needs to make sure that you're not rocking the boat so everybody else feels good. It's an opportunity here to really ask yourself and dig deep, and it's a good thing to do. So then we're going to go to Sunday. Oh, one more thing. So we are talking about Capricorn and all that energy going on in Capricorn restructuring, and I just wanted to make a note that Mars is now gone over Venus, and it's taking the lead, so to speak, when you take a look at the chart. And so I feel like Venus was being a little bit of a buffer for Mars and Pluto, and I think that there might be a little more tension, especially within larger institutions, dare I say governments, authority, because Mars is coming at Pluto, and it's, it can be a good thing. It's like, let's change this, let's change what needs to go, but it also can be a little bit of a fight, depending on who's experiencing what here. So watch out for a little more tension kind of revving up, because this is something building. It's not just these 2 days, it's going to be a couple weeks. And I mean, Venus will go back over at one point, but there's going to be a little more drive and tension within these bigger spheres. So just keep a note on that. But then we're going to go back now into Sunday, the 20th, here with the moon aspects. Just had to put that out there because I think we're all feeling it. I think you all know what I'm talking about. And hopefully things in this Libra moon keeps things a little calmer. And so on the 20th, the moon is trining Saturn in Aquarius. So again, I was talking about Aquarius rebuilding these structures. So again, the moon's giving Saturn hey, this is how you can make this a little warmer, a little fuzzier, a little more comfortable, a little less sterile, and a little more welcoming and balanced. And so it's just a really harmonious aspect, and I see good things with this. So again, if you're doing stuff in groups this weekend, I think it's a great time to really find the balance. And then the other aspect I have here with the moon is that the moon is, well, it's 3 actually, because the moon moves quickly. The moon squares Venus, then later in the day it'll square Mars, then it will square Pluto. And so then this is a sentence, right? This is a story. And it's a story that's been playing out in Capricorn, as I've said. And I thought of a phrase that there's a little less opulence and a little more responsibility happening that day, in a sense. This energy, like Libra wants it to feel good and look beautiful, and all those other planets in Capricorn, like, this is practical. We need to get this done. This is how it's going. And if the frills don't fit into the situation, cut it out. And I know you want balance, but right now we're trying to be the leader here, and you need to listen to me. So that's kind of the tension there a little bit. But I think it can be a good thing always, right? Because Libra, even though it's square, Libra is trying to remind these things, like, well, you are taking this very seriously, and it's bringing me down. Now, I know that's kind of an odd phrase, but there are times we have to get serious. When we get stuck in serious so long, it's not good for humans. So not that Libra is not serious, but it's trying to bring in the softer element and a little less of the harsh authoritarian aspect. So hopefully that can come through a little bit with that aspect and drive of just like changing things totally in that area of authority. With that too, there's another aspect that's not to the moon. It is Uranus trine Jupiter and Pisces. And so we were having like these, it's like highs and lows the day. Like, it's feeling good, we're helping the collective, and whoa, I gotta be serious, and it doesn't, I can't find, where I fit in as far as like beauty and balance, and how can we get this into authority here. But this one is kind of going back to the whole growing things, growing the new things, because Jupiter and Pisces is the dream, right? It's dreaming, it's giving us these visions of what we want to do moving forward. It's a new seed, it's going to be a new thing. And it's shining into an earth sign. So that's kind of like, okay, something to grow and nourish, right? And to ground it and actually make it real. And Uranus is saying it's going to be different, and I'm going to help you, grow your dream in a way that maybe you never imagined, or how you relate to materials. So there's another high. That might feel unexpectedly good. And so just trying to find your way through this day, be kind and compassionate to yourself, right? That's all we can really do. And then on Monday, the moon will go into Scorpio, and we'll do another video on that. But that's that Libra energy. I feel like, talk about highs and lows, balances. I feel like, especially on Sunday, there's going to be a little bit of a weeble wobble there. So just take a deep breath and be kind to yourself and those around you. And, as all relationships just go, how am I taking part in this relationship? Am I showing up? And how am I presenting my energy? To the phrase of the day, it's no surprise, I balance, right? Libra is the sign of the scales. And I did some thinking on this, and we've talked about this theme, right? Very much so about balance, but I did really see it as balancing into relating first. It can be also into beauty, into the elements and the environments, art, right? And our beautiful clothing, finding balance in the visual, right? Feng Shui is a good example of balancing those energies. But really, it's about, to me, relationships, that whole Aries and Libra axis. Like, how do I get my needs met? Physical, right? And making sure I survive and I, move forward. And then how do I make sure that I'm making sure the other person on the other end, if I'm, relating with somebody or something, energies, how am I making sure their needs are met? And where is that balance? And so I really saw the I balance in the sense of relating. And again, all relationships come down to how we relate to ourselves. So first doing that check-in with how you relate to yourself and where is their balance, and how you're bringing, again, yourself out into relationships. And I'd like to give you an exercise. I can't think of one that's quick, but just kind of take note when you're talking to somebody who you are in contact a lot. It could be a partner, but say even like a coworker. What is it? When you step back and like witness that relationship, say you're talking to them and they're talking to you, and these energies are being exchanged. If you can be the observer also and be like, is this person dominating the conversation? Am I dominating the conversation? Are they not listening? Am I listening? And start thinking about that. And then if there's something that maybe you do or do not like, whatever it is, positive or negative, you can see, like, do I like that in myself? How am I bringing that to other relationships? Or do I not like this? And how can I work with this to bring balance for myself internally first and then externally? But that's where I saw the balance, is in relating. And the shadow part of I balance, I really thought about this, and I don't want to say it's tiring to do a continual balancing. It can be, but you know, we kind of talked about don't sacrifice your stuff. That could be it, definitely. You know, the darker side is like, I'm going to sacrifice this part of me because I want it to feel good. I need to have this balance, right? And so whatever, I'll do whatever it takes to balance it. So try not to do whatever it takes because we don't want you to lose pieces of yourself in the process. That was the main thing that I saw really as like a negative. The other one that I saw was, oh yes, so sometimes we work really, really, really hard to keep balance in relationships. And maybe that relationship no longer serves us and needs to end, right? And so the shadow part of this is you could try to keep balance continuously. It can get very exhausting in this case if it needs to end, just to keep it going because you want the balance. And sometimes the relationship needs to end for there to be a balance. And so I saw that as a shadow, like maybe potentially certain relationships that are no longer serving people, right? That aren't let go just because they want to feel the harmony and not the tension of that let go. Because, you know, that Libra energy does not like the feeling of, you know, I don't want to say strife, but it prefers, you know, very Venusian comfort. And so I'd rather take comfort than that scary change because it's more familiar. With that, my check-in, we're at the tail end of the Virgo moon, so I'm sorting, sifting, getting ready for taxes. It's a very good time for that for Virgo. But this Libra energy, I do feel it coming up. I feel like people are starting to calm down a little bit and things are moving in a good direction overall with some of the groups that I'm in within my life. And it has to do with relating how well, you know, we're working together and making sure everyone's needs are met equitably, right? Like we talked, it's not just about one person getting everything met. And I think it's going to be a good weekend. Like I said, it could be a little bit, depending on where you're at and how many people you're around and what you have to do, you know, there could be some ups and downs and it's okay, right? That's the cycle. I think with that, it's Eureka Astrology and Healing. I'm Jennifer Helmer. And if you like this, hit like, subscribe, write a comment down below. And just, you know, you don't have to do this every day or every 2.5 days like I'm doing, but it's really opening my eyes and I'm really, really appreciating doing this. And like I said, I may morph into doing it a weekly, but it's really getting me in tune. It's getting me in tune with other people, myself, the environment, and it's such a positive thing. With that, may the plants ground you and the stars guide you. Ciao for now.